Rumors are that allegedly one of Simon's big scams was actually his wedding to Porsha. What's going on? I have some information about this rumor and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk? And welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified, so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around rumors that allegedly one of Simon's scams involved his wedding to Porsha. What's going on? I have some new information that may answer that question and more. And here it goes. Rumors are circulating that Porsha was allegedly on the receiving end of one of Simon's scams that involved their wedding. The source elaborated. Behind the scenes, there are rumors that allegedly Porsha footed the majority of her and Simon's $1 million wedding bill. The venue, the dresses, the food, and other wedding items were not only picked out by Porsha, but paid for with her own money. Allegedly, the deal was for Simon to pay his portion of the wedding at a later date, but those payments, according to the rumor, came in slow or not at all, leaving Porsha seeing red instead of green. The source continued. Porsha's team at the time was shocked about this alleged wedding agreement that also raised red flags with Porsha's family. Other sources believe that the payments are still being made on the lavish wedding. However, the new divorce proceeding, said the source, may throw the agreement into further chaos, creating even more financial issues for the couple. Now, kinfolk, this is some more rumors that are coming in regarding Porsha and Simon's, big divorce announcement. And so we're going to hop right into it and try to dissect this rumor in bits and pieces. Now, the first part of this rumor is something that I heard before, so I'm not that surprised about. And it's this. Back when Porsha and Simon got married, I heard a lot of rumors that it was actually Porsha who was paying for the wedding. And that rumor came about, and I remember it happened when they ended up canceling the Nigerian portion of the wedding. And so my sources were telling me that it was then that Porsha was like, okay, maybe something is not quite right with the finances, so I'm going to take charge. And that's when the agreement came together, and Porsha decided to have the wedding and all of the festivities in Atlanta, allegedly. And so what that did was it allowed Porsha to call on some vendors that she knew or had worked with in the past to get cheaper rates and deals that made it feasible for her to pay for, and kind of ended and wiped out some of those logistic issues they were having by trying to have multiple weddings across different countries. So with that being said, this part of the rumor that I'm not too shocked about because I heard before. And so a lot of people believe that this is where, or at least a lot of people behind the scenes believe, this is where technically this agreement came into play. Which makes sense, because if you remember when they were getting married, at first they were flying to Nigeria, having a wedding over here, and flying over there and having a wedding over there. But all that was canceled because the budget started adding up. And so a lot of people at the time were saying that the money just was not there. The logistics capabilities were just not there in order for them to have this big, grand, multiple destination wedding. So with that being said, I do believe that part of the rumor has some type of validity to it, because I've heard it multiple times across different platforms and from different sources. Now, kinfolk, the next part of this rumor that my sources were telling me was the source of this agreement is this. Now, the source of the agreement from rumors behind the scenes was that Simon didn't pay necessarily his portion of the wedding bill because he was trying to free up cash to pay for their $1 million house. Now, this seems a little feasible because, as you know, I think their house was like 7 million, maybe 8 million. And sources are saying that they paid all cash for the house. Now, I'm not sure how true that part is, but however, if this was the agreement that Porsha foots the bill or the majority of the bill for the wedding and he foots the bill for the house, then I can kind of see how that trade-off could work. And I can see why Porsha might have felt okay with paying the majority of the wedding bill, seeing that she had it in Atlanta, and what my sources are saying that she got a lot of deals and things cut because she had worked with a lot of these vendors before in the past, and that the promo was there for them, and so she was able to have $1 million wedding without a $1 million price tag and hit to her finances. So that part of the rumor, I can see some validity holding up, because at the end of the day, if you're thinking about Porsha, it kind of, weighs itself out. I can probably pay for a $1 million wedding for half the fraction of the price, while he's spending more money, like $7 million, on our house and our home. So I think that part of the rumor could have some validity to it, but I'm still trying to work out and figure out with my sources about how much of it is true. Now, kinfolk, the next part of this rumor has to do with some red flags that were raised during this wedding planning phase as to why I feel like her team may have been trying to pump the brakes on the wedding altogether. And it's this. My sources are saying that when Porsha and Simon not only got engaged but started planning their wedding, red flags started to arise with Porsha's financial team, allegedly, because it appeared that Simon was not going to be helping out that much with the wedding. Now, my sources are saying this is before the agreement, the alleged agreement, came into play. And sources said that behind the scenes, Porsha's team was like, if Simon is worth $40 million or has $40 million plus allegedly, then paying for $1 million wedding should be nothing to him. And so before all this was happening, it was a lot of talks, especially with Porsha's family. I don't know if you remember this, but at the beginning of the wedding, they had plans to have this destination wedding, and family and friends were going to be flown out. But then all that changed when Porsha and Simon allegedly asked their family and friends to foot their own bill for them to fly out to their destination wedding, even for the wedding party. And so sources were saying that a lot of family members and friends started raising flags like, I can see you having some friends and some family members pay for their flight, but if we're actually in the wedding, why are we paying for flights for a person and hotel accommodation on that for a wedding for a person who, for all intent and purposes, has told us and has shown us, and the media says has vast amounts of money? So my sources are saying that those were the first reasons why those first red flags were raised with Porsha's family and her immediate friend group. And quite honestly, I can see how that could have rubbed a lot of them the wrong way. Now, kinfolk, the last part of this rumor, I think it is very important to note, because I think, again, it speaks to Porsha's intelligence, and it's this. If this rumor is true, because right now it's all alleged information and speculation, I do feel like Porsha, in some areas, may not be the smartest, but in other areas she is. And I think one of the most important areas that she is smart in is when it comes to money, right? So I do think that if this wedding agreement was not being held up, this wedding payment agreement was not being held up by Simon on his end, I do think Porsha probably has gotten that money out of him some way, somehow, discreetly. I think that she may have asked for a business loan or something like that for a business that, maybe have never taken off or something like that. And again, this is me just speculating, right? But I do feel like she's smart enough to make sure she gets her money for that big lavish wedding that, that they had. And kinfolk, to be quite honest with you, now hearing this rumor again with more context and seeing how they were struggling with the wedding planning at the beginning of their engagement, it kind of all begins to make sense. But kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that Porsha and Simon's divorce announcement had to do with him potentially or allegedly scamming Porsha with their wedding? Or do you think that it simply is because Porsha realized that the finances really were not there, or at least not there in the way she thought it was, and she decided to get out while the getting was good? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over in the next one. Peace.